Welcome. I want to tell you something honestly. This is not the kind of video where I give you 5 quick tips about money and then disappear. This is not about motivation for 10 minutes and then nothing changes in your life. This is something bigger, something more real, something that will either wake you up or leave you exactly where you are right now. What we're talking about today is the difference between a rich life and a poor one. Not just money rich or money poor, but mindset rich versus mindset poor. Because here's the brutal truth most people will never tell you. We live in 2025 and the old rules of wealth are dead. The world has changed. AI is replacing jobs. Cryptocurrency is replacing traditional money. Digital businesses are replacing brick-and-mortar stores. And while everyone is still following the old playbook, go to school, get a job, save money, retire at 65, the people who understand the new game are getting richer than ever before. So today, I'm asking you to slow down and listen, because if you truly understand what I'm about to share, you will never look at money, work, or success the same way again. You will understand why some people stay poor their entire lives, while others create wealth that lasts for generations. This video is not just for people who want to make money. This is for people who are tired of being trapped by old thinking. This is for people who are ready to finally understand how the game really works in 2025 and beyond. And I promise you this, if you stay with me until the end, you will understand a kind of wealth-building strategy most people never learn in their entire lifetime. Let's begin. First, let's talk about why the education system is keeping you poor. Here's the first truth nobody wants to hear. The education system is not designed to make you rich. It's designed to make you a good employee, and in 2025, being a good employee is not enough anymore. Think about it. What did they teach you in school about money? Nothing. What did they teach you about starting a business? Nothing. What did they teach you about investing, about taxes, about creating multiple income streams? Nothing. Instead, they taught you to memorize facts that Google can give you in 0.5 seconds. They taught you to follow instructions, not to create solutions. They taught you to think like an employee, not like an owner. And now, artificial intelligence can do most of those employee tasks better than humans. ChatGPT can write better than most writers. AI can analyze data better than most analysts. Robots can manufacture products better than most factory workers. But here's what AI can't do. It can't start a business. It can't build relationships. It can't take risks. It can't make strategic decisions based on intuition and experience. AI nem lehet vállalkozó. So while everyone is worried about AI taking their jobs, smart people are learning how to use AI to build their businesses faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than ever before. The poor mindset says, I need to get a good education so I can get a good job and be safe. The rich mindset says, I need to educate myself about money, business, and technology so I can create opportunities that don't exist yet. Let me tell you about this woman, Sarah. She spent 6 years in college getting a marketing degree. She graduated with $80,000 in student debt and got a job at a marketing agency making $40,000 a year. She worked there for 5 years, got promoted twice, and was making $55,000 when the company decided to use AI for most of their content creation and social media management. Sarah was laid off. At 29 years old, she had $65,000 in student debt, $8,000 in savings, and no real skills that couldn't be replaced by artificial intelligence. Now let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus dropped out of college after 1 year, not because he wasn't smart, but because he saw what was coming. While Sarah was studying marketing textbooks, Marcus was learning how to build websites, how to run Facebook ads, how to create digital products, how to sell online. By the time Sarah graduated, Marcus had already built and sold 2 small online businesses. By the time Sarah got laid off, Marcus was making $200,000 a year from multiple digital income streams, working from his laptop with no debt and complete freedom. Same intelligence, same opportunities, different mindset. Here's what the education system doesn't teach you. In the digital economy, skills matter more than degrees. Results matter more than credentials. What you can create matters more than what you can remember. But it goes deeper than that. The entire foundation of traditional education is built on scarcity thinking. They teach you that there are limited opportunities, limited good jobs, limited success. So you need to compete with everyone else for those few spots at the top. That's employee thinking. That's poverty thinking. Entrepreneur thinking is abundance thinking. There are unlimited opportunities in the digital world. You don't need to compete for a job. You can create your own job. You can create your own industry. You can solve problems that don't even exist yet. Think about it. 10 years ago, social media manager wasn't a real job. App developer was barely a thing. YouTube creator was a hobby, not a career. Crypto trader didn't exist. AI prompt engineer sounds like science fiction. But smart people saw these opportunities coming. While others were studying for traditional careers, entrepreneurs were learning new skills, building new businesses, creating new wealth. The economy is not bad. Your economy might be bad because you're still playing by 1990 rules in a 2025 world. If you think the economy is terrible, it's because your personal economy is terrible. And your personal economy is terrible because you're still thinking like an employee in an entrepreneur's world. And here's what they really don't want you to know. The digital economy rewards speed, not perfection. It rewards action, not planning. It rewards testing, not theorizing. While you're getting the perfect education, someone else is building the imperfect business that becomes the next billion-dollar company. The solution: stop waiting for someone to teach you about money. Start teaching yourself. Read books about business. Watch videos about investing. Learn digital skills. Study successful entrepreneurs. Focus on developing digital skills, business thinking, and controlling your personal economy instead of worrying about the macro economy. Start building something today, even if it's small. Start a blog. Start a YouTube channel. Start selling something online. Start learning a new digital skill. Start networking with other entrepreneurs. Start thinking like an owner, not like an employee waiting for permission. Because the people getting rich in 2025 are not the ones with the best degrees. They're the ones with the best skills and the strongest mindset. They're the ones who moved fast while others moved slow. Wake up. The game has changed. Either change with it or watch others win while you wonder why you're still struggling. But here's what nobody tells you about money. The most dangerous lie you've been told about money is this: work hard, save your money, stay out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. This advice was already questionable in 1980. In 2025, it's financial suicide. Why? Because the rules of money have completely changed, but nobody updated the playbook. The most obsolete idea is go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for the long term in the stock market. This traditional path to wealth is completely outdated in the context of 2025, especially when money is being printed in massive quantities. First, let's talk about saving money. They tell you to save, save, save. Put your money in a savings account, build an emergency fund. But here's the problem. While you're saving dollars, the government is printing dollars, trillions of them. Every time they print more money, your saved money becomes worth less. Your grandfather could save $10,000 and buy a house. You save $10,000 and it might cover 2 months of rent. That's not because you're doing something wrong. That's because the money itself is worth less. The poor mindset says, I need to save money to be safe. The rich mindset says, I need to convert my money into assets that grow faster than inflation. Wealth is not just money, it's the ability to create value in the digital economy. Every person has 3 types of potential thinking: poor, middle class, and rich. But the education system only teaches how to become an employee, not a business owner. Let me tell you about 2 neighbors, David and James. Both 35 years old, both making $75,000 a year. David follows traditional advice. He saves 20% of his income in a high-yield savings account, earning 2% interest. He pays off his mortgage early. He contributes to his 401k. He's doing everything the financial advisors tell him to do. James thinks differently. He keeps only 3 months of expenses in savings. Everything else he invests in real estate, in learning new digital skills, in starting small businesses, in cryptocurrency, in assets that can grow 20%, 50%, even 100% per year. After 10 years, David has $150,000 in savings and a paid-off house worth $300,000. He feels safe, but he's still trading his time for money at the same job. James has $50,000 in savings, but he owns rental properties worth $2 million, a digital business generating $30,000 per month, and crypto investments that went up 500%. Most importantly, he doesn't need a job anymore. His assets pay him whether he works or not. Same income, different strategy, different life. Here's the second lie: stay out of debt. Poor people think all debt is bad. Rich people understand that debt is a tool. There's good debt and bad debt. Bad debt buys liabilities, credit cards to buy clothes, car loans for expensive cars you can't afford. That kind of debt makes you poorer. Good debt buys assets, a mortgage on a rental property that pays you $500 more per month than the mortgage payment, a business loan to buy equipment that makes you $5,000 more per month. That kind of debt makes you richer. The poor mindset says, debt is dangerous. I should pay off everything as fast as possible. The rich mindset says, debt is a tool. I should use other people's money to buy assets that make me money. Here's the third lie. Invest for the long term in the stock market. The problem with this advice is that it treats you like you have no control. You put your money in an index fund and hope it goes up over 30 years. You're basically gambling that the market will be good when you're old. Rich people don't hope, they control. They invest in things they understand. They invest in themselves first. They start businesses. They buy real estate instead of stocks. They create multiple income streams. They don't put their future in the hands of Wall Street executives they'll never meet. And here's the final truth they don't want you to know. Money is changing. Physical cash is disappearing. Digital currency is taking over. Central bank digital currencies are coming. Cryptocurrency is becoming mainstream. NFTs, DeFi, blockchain technology, these aren't just buzzwords anymore. They're the new financial infrastructure. While poor people are still trying to save dollars, rich people are learning about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital assets. They're not just buying crypto, they're understanding the technology behind it. They're positioning themselves for a world where everything is digital. But here's what most people get wrong about crypto and digital assets. They think it's gambling. They think it's speculation. They don't understand that behind every cryptocurrency is technology that's solving real problems. Bitcoin isn't just digital money, it's a store of value that can't be inflated away by governments. Ethereum isn't just a coin, it's a platform for building decentralized applications. Smart contracts are automating business processes. DeFi is replacing traditional banking. And while most people are calling it a scam or a bubble, smart money is building the future of finance. The same people who called the internet a fad in 1995 are calling crypto a bubble in 2025. Don't be one of those people. Don't be the person who looks back in 2035 and says, "I wish I had understood Bitcoin when it was $100,000." Or, "I wish I had learned about blockchain when it was still early." The solution: stop following 1950s money advice in a 2025 world. Start thinking like an investor, not a saver. Learn about assets. Study successful people. Understand that money is a game, and the people who understand the rules are the ones who win. Start learning about digital assets. Start understanding blockchain technology. Start building digital income streams. Start positioning yourself for the future of money, not the past. But don't just buy crypto and hope it goes up. That's still gambling. Learn the technology, understand the use cases. Build businesses that use blockchain. Create value in the digital economy. Your money beliefs are either making you rich or keeping you poor. It's time to choose which side you want to be on. Now, the real game changer. Your mindset determines everything. Here's something most people never understand. Success and failure are not random. They're not about luck. They're not about being born in the right family or having the right connections. Success and failure are about one thing: how your mind responds to problems. Poor people have weak minds. Rich people have strong minds. It's that simple, and it's that brutal. When the economy crashes, weak minds panic. Strong minds see opportunity. When technology changes, weak minds fear. Strong minds adapt. When failure happens, weak minds give up. Strong minds get stronger. The poor mindset says, "Why is this happening to me?" The rich mindset says, How can I use this to get ahead? The importance of controlling internal strength, growth mindset, and the ability to recover quickly after failure cannot be overstated. There's a comparison between people with strong thinking versus those with weak thinking when facing technological changes and economic fluctuations. Let me tell you about Michael. 3 years ago, he had a successful photography business. Weddings, events, portraits. He was making good money, had regular clients, everything was comfortable. Then COVID happened. All events were canceled. Weddings were postponed. His business disappeared overnight. He went from $8,000 per month to zero in 2 weeks. Most photographers panicked. They complained about the government. They blamed the economy. They waited for things to go back to normal. But Michael didn't panic. He asked himself, how can I use this situation to get ahead? He noticed that while people couldn't meet in person, businesses still needed content. Companies needed product photos. Influencers needed personal branding photos. Real estate agents needed property photos. So while other photographers were waiting for weddings to come back, Michael learned e-commerce photography, product photography, real estate photography. He started offering virtual photo shoots. He created online courses teaching photography. When the world reopened, Michael wasn't just back to $8,000 per month. He was making $25,000 per month from multiple income streams. The crisis that destroyed other photographers made Michael rich. Same situation, different mindset, different outcome. Here's what you need to understand. Every crisis creates millionaires. Every recession creates new businesses. Every time technology changes, some people lose and others win big. There's always opportunity in every crisis, and positive thinking will create positive results. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is not education. The difference is mindset. Specifically, it's about having an internal focus instead of an external focus. External focus, blaming the economy, the government, your boss, your parents, society, bad luck, unfair circumstances. Internal focus, asking what you can control, what you can learn, what you can improve, how you can adapt, what opportunities exist that others can't see. Poor people have external focus. Everything wrong in their life is someone else's fault. Rich people have internal focus. They take responsibility for everything in their life, including the results. When a rich person fails, they don't stay down. They analyze what went wrong. They learn from it. They adjust their strategy. They try again, but smarter. When a poor person fails, they quit. They say, "I'm not good at this." They blame external factors. They give up on their dreams and go back to what feels safe, even if safe is slowly destroying them. The poor mindset says, "I failed because the timing was bad." The rich mindset says, "I failed because I need to get better. This is good information. Now I know what doesn't work." Real entrepreneurs have internal focus. When they fall down, they say, "This is good because I'm going to come back stronger." They don't see failure as the end. They see it as data. They see it as education. They see it as preparation for the next level. The solution: develop unshakable mental strength. Stop blaming external circumstances for your internal problems. Start taking complete responsibility for your results. When something bad happens, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "How can I use this?" Train your mind to see opportunity in every problem, to see growth in every challenge, to see strength in every struggle. Focus on developing personal capabilities instead of depending on traditional systems. Your mindset is your most valuable asset. It's more important than your education. It's more important than your connections. It's more important than your starting capital, because with the right mindset, you can learn anything, meet anyone, and create capital from nothing. Without the right mindset, you can have every advantage in the world and still end up broke and bitter. Choose your mindset carefully. Your entire future depends on it. And this is where it gets interesting: employee versus entrepreneur thinking. The biggest difference between poor people and rich people is not money. It's not education. It's not background. The biggest difference is this: poor people think like employees. Rich people think like entrepreneurs. And I'm not talking about having a job versus owning a business. I'm talking about two completely different ways of seeing the world, two completely different operating systems in your brain. Entrepreneurship is not just a profession, but a mindset, skills, and a separate system of operation. It's about abandoning the safety of monthly salary to pursue financial freedom. Employee thinking: how do I get paid more for my time? Entrepreneur thinking: how do I create systems that make money without my time? Most people, even business owners, still think like employees. They work in their business instead of on their business. They trade time for money at a higher rate, but they're still trading time for money. Real entrepreneurs think differently. They don't want to work harder. They want to work smarter. They don't want to be the most important person in their business. They want to be the least necessary person in their business. When you don't have a safety net, you will learn to fly instead of just knowing how to crawl. Let me tell you about Lisa and Jennifer. Both started online businesses at the same time. Lisa created a consulting business. She was good at social media marketing, so she started offering her services to small businesses. She charged $2,000 per month per client. Within 2 years, she had 15 clients and was making $30,000 per month. But here's the problem: Lisa was doing all the work herself. She was creating all the content, managing all the campaigns, talking to all the clients. She was making good money, but she was trapped. If she stopped working, the money stopped coming. Jennifer also started with social media marketing skills, but she thought like an entrepreneur. Instead of selling her time, she created a system. She built a course teaching small business owners how to do social media marketing themselves. She created templates, checklists, and video tutorials. It took Jennifer longer to make her first dollar. Lisa was making $10,000 per month while Jennifer was still building her course. But once Jennifer's course was done, everything changed. Lisa was stuck at $30,000 per month because there are only so many hours in a day. Jennifer's course made $100,000 in the first month, $200,000 in the second month, and now makes over $500,000 per month. Jennifer works 20 hours per week. Lisa works 60 hours per week. Same skills, different thinking, different results. Here's what employee thinking looks like. I need to work more hours to make more money. I am the business. If I don't do it, it won't get done right. I need to be involved in every decision. My income stops if I stop working. Here's what entrepreneur thinking looks like. I need to create systems that work without me. The business should run without me. I need to train others to do it better than me. I need to empower others to make decisions. My income grows even when I'm sleeping. But here's the deeper truth. Entrepreneur thinking is not just about business. It's about life. It's about taking complete ownership of your results instead of making excuses. It's about creating solutions instead of complaining about problems. Employee thinking. This job doesn't pay enough. Complains but stays. Entrepreneur thinking. This job doesn't pay enough. Starts a side business or finds a better job. Employee thinking. The economy is bad. Uses it as an excuse. Entrepreneur thinking. The economy is changing, adapts, and finds new opportunities. Employee thinking. I don't have enough money to start. Waits for perfect conditions. Entrepreneur thinking. I don't have enough money to start. Starts anyway with what they have. The most important shift is this. Employees work for money. Entrepreneurs make money work for them. Employees ask, how much will you pay me? Entrepreneurs ask, how can I create value? And here's something powerful. You don't need to quit your job to think like an entrepreneur. You can start thinking like an owner right now. You can start building systems right now. You can start creating value right now. The solution. Make the mental shift from employee to entrepreneur. Stop asking how you can get paid more for your time. Start asking how you can create more value with your time. Stop thinking about trading hours for dollars. Start thinking about building assets that generate income 24/7. When you don't have a guaranteed paycheck, something magical happens. You stop being lazy. You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for someone else to solve your problems. You become creative, resourceful, and unstoppable. Not having a salary will force people to become more creative, smarter, and discover their true potential. Finally, the secret weapon: how rich people use debt and taxes. Here's the secret weapon that separates the rich from everyone else. Rich people use debt and taxes to get richer. Poor and middle-class people are destroyed by debt and taxes. Same tools, opposite results. Debt and taxes make the rich richer. Debt and taxes make the poor and middle class poorer. Most people think debt is the enemy. They're wrong. Most people think taxes are unavoidable. They're wrong. Most people think you need money to make money. They're wrong. The rich understand something everyone else doesn't. Debt and taxes are tools. In the hands of poor people, these tools cause destruction. In the hands of rich people, these tools create wealth. Let me explain how this works. First, let's talk about debt. Poor people use debt to buy liabilities, things that take money out of their pocket every month: a bigger car payment, a bigger mortgage on a house they live in, credit cards for vacations, and clothes and restaurants. Rich people use debt to buy assets, things that put money in their pocket every month. A mortgage on a rental property that generates $500 more per month than the payment. A business loan to buy equipment that increases revenue by $5,000 per month. Here's a real example. Mark wanted to buy a $500,000 rental property. He didn't have $500,000, but he had $100,000 for a down payment. The bank gave him a mortgage for $400,000 at 4% interest. The mortgage payment was $1,900 per month, but Mark rented the property for $2,800 per month. After expenses, Mark makes $500 per month in cash flow from a property he doesn't even fully own yet. But it gets better. Every year, the property increases in value by 3 to 5%. After 5 years, the property is worth $600,000. Mark has made $100,000 in appreciation on money he never had. Plus, he's made $30,000 in cash flow over 5 years. Mark used the bank's money to make money. That's how rich people think about debt. But poor people are afraid of debt, so they save up $500,000 to buy the property in cash. By the time they save $500,000, the property costs $600,000. They spend their entire lives saving for opportunities that slip away while they're saving. Rich people understand this principle. Leverage other people's money to control assets you couldn't afford otherwise. Now, let's talk about taxes. Poor people work for money and pay taxes on everything they earn. Rich people create businesses and pay taxes only on what's left after business expenses. When you have a job, you get paid $100,000. The government takes $25,000 in taxes, and you live on $75,000. When you have a business, you make $100,000. You spend $30,000 on business expenses, office, equipment, travel, education, meals, and then you pay taxes on $70,000. Your tax bill is lower, and you got $30,000 worth of stuff you needed anyway. But it gets even better. Rich people structure their businesses to maximize tax advantages. They pay themselves through dividends instead of salary. They write off their car, their home office, their business trips, their education. Here's what's crazy. The tax code is designed to give breaks to business owners and investors. The government wants you to start businesses and create jobs. They want you to invest in real estate and improve communities. They want you to take risks and grow the economy. So they reward you with tax breaks for doing these things. But if you're just an employee, you don't get these rewards. The poor mindset says the rich don't pay their fair share of taxes. The rich mindset says, I need to learn the tax rules so I can legally pay less taxes and reinvest the savings to grow my wealth. Let me tell you about Tony. 5 years ago, Tony was making $80,000 per year as a software engineer. He was paying about $20,000 per year in taxes. Tony decided to start a consulting business on the side. He kept his job but started taking on freelance projects. His consulting business made $30,000 in the first year. But here's what happened. Tony's business expenses were $12,000: home office, equipment, software, education, marketing. So his taxable business income was only $18,000. His total tax bill actually went down, even though he made $30,000 more. The next year, Tony's consulting business made $60,000. His expenses were $25,000, so his taxable business income was $35,000. Tony was now making $140,000 per year total, but his effective tax rate was lower than when he was just making $80,000 as an employee. By year 3, Tony's business was making $120,000 per year. He quit his job, moved his business income to $150,000, structured it as an LLC with S-Corp election, paid himself a reasonable salary of $60,000 and took $90,000 as distributions, saving thousands in self-employment taxes. Same person, same skills, different structure, different tax bill. The video points out that rich people don't work for money but create businesses and investments. They use leverage to buy profit-generating assets and optimize taxes through business structures. The solution: stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a business owner. Learn how money really works. Learn how taxes really work. Learn how debt can be used as a tool instead of a trap. You don't need to be rich to start using these strategies. You can start a side business tomorrow. You can start claiming business deductions. You can start learning about real estate investing. You can start thinking like an owner instead of just a consumer. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Don't use debt to buy stupid things. Use debt to buy assets. Don't avoid taxes illegally. Learn the legal ways to minimize taxes. Don't take shortcuts. Build real businesses that create real value. The game is not rigged against you. The game has rules. Learn the rules and you can win. Now you know the truth. 99% of people will watch this video and do nothing. They'll nod their heads. They'll think that makes sense. And then they'll go back to doing exactly what they were doing before. They'll keep thinking like employees. They'll keep being afraid of debt. They'll keep following 1950s money advice in a 2025 world. But you're not like 99% of people. You're here because something inside you knows there's a better way. You're here because you're ready to do what the 99% are not doing. 99% of people blame external circumstances. You're going to take internal control. 99% of people think like employees. You're going to think like an entrepreneur. 99% of people are afraid of debt. You're going to learn how to use debt as a tool. 99% of people complain about taxes. You're going to learn how to legally minimize them. 99% of people wait for the perfect time. You're going to start today with what you have. Rich people don't have secret information. They don't have special advantages. They just think differently. They see opportunities where others see problems. They use tools that others fear. They take action while others make excuses. You have everything you need to start building wealth today. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. The question is, will you keep thinking like the 99% and get the same results as the 99%? Or will you start doing what the 99% are not doing and create a life that most people only dream about? This is your moment. This is your choice. Don't let it slip away. From this moment forward, stop thinking small. Stop playing it safe. Stop following advice that keeps you poor. Start thinking like an entrepreneur. Start learning about money. Start building systems. Start taking intelligent risks. Do what the 99% are not doing. Take action. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is play it safe. Sometimes the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Your mindset is your destiny. Choose wisely. Thank you for watching. Now go do what the 99% won't do. Go build something amazing.